So I'm going to talk about a thing, a very, very big thing called cravings. Now, every time somebody tries to eat healthy, they get on a diet plan, meal plan, they try to make better choices. The biggest obstacle they get is cravings. So let's talk about cravings and understand them, and also let's understand how to deal with them. So first of all, we need to understand the word craving. What is craving? Craving means you crave, which means an intense desire to do something. So let's understand. Cravings can come from internal or external sources. It could be physiological, it could be psychological, or it could be situational. So, number one, a lot of cravings can actually be taken care by eating better, by eating healthy. For example, understand this as a baby cry. Every time baby wants something, the only thing baby knows is to cry. If baby wants to play, she will cry. Baby wants food, she will cry. Baby is hurt, she will cry. She wants to, we want you to pick up, she will cry. Whatever she wants, only thing baby will do is cry. Same way, whenever your body is looking for any kind of a nutrient, your body will actually create a trigger or a desire for you to eat or have something so that your body gets that nutrient. Now, your body is not going to give you a message or text or an email saying that I want magnesium, I want calcium, I want iron, I want protein, I want zinc. Only thing it will tell you is I need food, I need more. And it leaves it to your ability and intelligence to really identify if you have to provide more protein, more minerals, vitamins, whatever is missing. So if you actually start eating better, get enough protein, enough vegetables, all of these balanced in your diet, a lot of cravings can be taken care of. Now that's one part of it, but a lot of cravings it will still not take care of. Because if you understand the origin of cravings, cravings actually originate from discomfort. Whenever you are stressed, whenever you feel uncomfortable, you get this urge of doing something, especially eating something which makes you feel comfortable. And that is where you feel an urge to eat a lot of sugary or sweet items. Now, in order to understand this, you need to understand that if you feel a craving to eat some sweets, or chocolate or ice cream or anything, no amount of banana, apple, or anything else, or even broccoli is going to take care of that craving because you haven't really made yourself comfortable eating that, and that's where it will not suppress the craving. However, other thing you want to understand is you do not want to fight your cravings. More you fight your cravings, more it will aggravate. So I'm going to share some psychological principles behind it and how it works. But what I want you to really understand is cravings originate from discomfort and why you should not fight it. So I'll give you two principles on that. So number one, because human brain does not understand negatives. If I tell you not to think about an elephant, you are immediately going to think about an elephant. And this was an experiment done where people are asked not to think about a polar bear for 5 minutes. Not every 1 minute, but 5 minutes. They thought of polar bear because they have been told not to think about it. Now, here is the change. If people were told not to fight the polar bear or go and fight the polar bear or not to think about going and fighting the polar bear, they were started to think about polar bear even more. Which means if you try to fight your cravings, it will come back to you again and again, and it will just get more and more intense. So you cannot do that. You cannot suppress your cravings. Now, if you cannot do that, what do? We'll talk about it. The other thing that you need to understand is cravings are not actually because of the chemical compound. So there was another experiment done, and it was as strong as nicotine. A lot of smokers think that they are addicted to nicotine, and the urge to get nicotine is what makes them crave for smoking cigarette. Now, this is true, but not completely true. There was an experiment done where flight attendants who were regular smokers were actually split into two teams. From Israel, one team was asked to go to Europe, a 3 hour, 4 hour flight, and other team was asked to go to US, which is a 10-hour flight. Now here is what happened. And every hour they were to log their craving to have a cigarette. Now if you look at it, every few hours goes after they've had that last puff, the cravings should increase. And the people at 3 hour mark should have say cravings of three, then people at 5 hour mark should have craving of five and seven. But here is what really happened. After 3 hour mark, when Europe flight was about to land and these flight attendants knew that they could, smoke in certain minutes after the passenger disembarked the flight, the cravings rose. But at the same time, about 3.5, 4 hours, people who were actually on top of the Atlantic flying in the aircraft did not have the same urge. They got the same level of urge when the flight landed in New York and they were getting off. So, what it does tell you is cravings also do play a role based on situation, which means when you know it's impossible, you cannot be smoking inside the flight, you will lose your job and lot more, or even worse, things can happen, you won't crave for it. Because it's completely off limits, impossible. It does not have an possibility or an option in your book. Same way, cravings for sugar, sweet, or any other cravings do the same thing. So, yes, there is a chemical compound sugar which will or which can make you get addicted just like nicotine, but it is also a situation when you have a situation and when you know what's possible, what's not. So, these two things tell you that if you try to fight it, it will increase. And second, it's actually a lot more situational or how you think, whether it's possible or not, cravings will increase. Now, how to deal with cravings? So look at it this way. Number one, you need to understand where is the craving originating from? Why is a baby crying? You need to understand what discomfort triggered this craving. If you do not understand that, then you will never be able to handle craving. It is not about food, it's about the discomfort that eating sweets or eating good food or the food that you like solves for you, makes you comfortable. So, number one, you need to identify the trigger. Is it internal or external? Second, what you need to do is you really need to look at that trigger and say, "Hmm, interesting. Why is this particular thing prompting me to eat more? What is about this thing which is making me eat more? Why am I uncomfortable? What is this discomfort about?" So, this is where you need to get curious. Probably think about you coming out of your own body, go outside, watch yourself, and say, why am I behaving like this? What is the real source? And how do I solve the real problem so that the discomfort does not originate and I don't crave? A lot of time it is related to stress with work, with relationship, with something else for people. More often or not, people reach out for smoking, reach out for sweets, reach out for all the unhealthy addictive things when they are highly stressed. But the thing is, this does not solve a problem. This is why we call it a small adaptive coping mechanism. You need to understand the trigger, try to have more constructive, healthier, and a better way to deal with that trigger so that you're either solving the problem so that it does not occur again, or you're building ability, capacity, skills to solve that problem. This is what is going to help you handle cravings. The other thing that you need to know about that is the third one. Whenever you get this urge of eating something, doing something, use what psychology call it as surfing, or it's called a 10-minute rule. You say, hey, you know what? I will go ahead and smoke. I will go ahead and, eat that sweet or whatever. But after 10 minutes, sit with that discomfort for 10 minutes. See how it happens. You're not saying no, you're immediately not taking action, but you're surfing that emotion. You are surfing that state and trying to really see what's happening. And more often or not, what you would realize is after 10 minutes the urge has gone. It's not that stronger anymore. Probably you forget about it because you're doing something else, and all of these. So this is how cravings work. Now cravings, as I said, could actually come out of anywhere, any kind of discomfort. It could be physical, it could be mental, could be emotional, could be related to any other things. And people try to solve it a wrong way, either by fighting it, by suppressing it, or by saying that, hey, if I get a cravings for sweet, what do I do? Like no amount of banana is going to solve the craving for sweet, right? It's the same thing. So hope this helps you understand cravings and have some actionable steps that you can take to handle cravings. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you.